Jared Clark with Airguns of Arizona. Today we're going to be taking a look at a rifle that really needs no introduction. It has 2 first place finishes at the Extreme Bench Rest and a handful of top 5 finishes in numerous competitions around the world. This particular rifle that I'm referring to is the .30 caliber FX BOSS. This gun is an absolute hammer, delivering 78 foot-pounds of energy. It utilizes an internal regulator to help get you 40 plus shots per fill. Combine that with the sound moderator on the barrel, and you have the ultimate air gun here, in my opinion. Let's take it into the showroom, highlight some of these features, and see what it can do. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the FX BOSS. The first thing you're going to notice about this rifle is the nice hard case that comes with it. It has 4 latches here, also a spot where you can put a hard lock on it. So we'll go ahead and open up these latches. And the first thing you're going to see upon opening is obviously this gorgeous walnut stock here. But we're going to take a look at some of the accessories. You get a Foster fitting. This is a female Foster fitting with the threads on the back. You will also get a 9-shot FX rotary style magazine. And then you'll get 2 forms of paperwork here. The first being the quality control test done by Airguns of Arizona. This is gonna go over everything from accuracy to velocity. And then the other piece of paperwork you're gonna get is this FX owner's manual. This will just cover all the basic things you need to know about the rifle. Now we'll go ahead, we're gonna put a scope on this rifle, and then we'll highlight some of the features that it has to offer. We went ahead and mounted the 6 to 18 power FX scope on the rifle. We use the FX No Limit 30mm mounts. These mounts are great to give you the clearance you need over the magazine and just give an overall good looking setup on the rifle. This rifle is chambered in .30 caliber, so it's capable of producing 78 foot-pounds, which is a lot of energy for hunting as well as long-range target distance, be it 150, 100 yards. The rifle is internally regulated, so even producing that much energy, because of the regulator, it's capable of giving you 40 shots per fill. So that's almost unheard of. A gun that can produce 78 foot-pounds of energy and do it up to 40 times per fill. Very unique, great job FX. Additionally, this rifle is very quiet. In the airgun market, getting all 3 things is almost unheard of. Usually you can keep the shot count high, you can keep the noise level low, but you're not going to be doing a lot of power, or vice versa. You could keep the shot count low, get a lot of power, and it be loud. But to couple all 3 things together in one package is a really sweet feature, and it's something that no other manufacturer offers. Each rifle comes with the FX moderator. This is going to be very efficient in reducing the report of the rifle. The moderator is wrapped around the 24-inch smooth twist barrel. These are longer barrels that are using the smooth twist technology, so it's all for accuracy. The smooth twist, it's going to build speed. About 95% of the barrel is smooth bore, and then when it hits that last 1.5 to 2 inches, it has a very aggressive rifle twist on it. So it's almost like throwing a football where you're moving your hand, you're building speed, and then it's that last little bit of the wrist flick that's going to give it the aggressive spiral. It's going to give it all of its accuracy. It's the same idea here. You build up speed and then you twist it. It's moving, it's twisting. It's just extremely, extremely accurate. And that's one of the best features of this gun is the downrange accuracy. Moving on from there, each rifle does have a 500cc bottle on it. The bottle working with the regulator is the reason why you can get 40 shots per fill, as well as having a good balance point. So you have the bottle up front, you have the buttstock in the back. Everything is very centralized in this rifle, and it sits on your shoulder like a dream. Moving on from there, you have the side cocking mechanism that the FX guns incorporate. Almost effortless. You can do it with one hand, but it's very smooth back. Once you're cocked, you're in the locked position here. You would insert your magazine. We'll go over the magazine loading and inserting into the rifle on the test range. So side cocking bolt, very easy to use, very user-friendly. People really like that feature on this gun. Underneath the action, you'll see this beautiful walnut stock. These FX stocks are just gorgeous in terms of quality, you know, lots of character in this stock. You'll notice it also has some stippling here around the pistol grip, as well as up here on the forearm. So the whole package together, the character, the stippling, everything about it is just gorgeous and screams high-end air rifle right here. The walnut stocks are now completely ambidextrous. So FX rifles used to only cater to right-handed shooters, but for lefties now, if you choose to go with the walnut stock, you can have the ability to shoot it very comfortably. So left-handed ambidextrous friendly walnut stock. Each stock also has a rubber butt plate here on the end. You have one set screw here. You're able to adjust it up or down, whichever way it needs to go to be comfortable for you, the shooter. If we take a look up underneath the rifle here, you're gonna see that each rifle does have a pressure gauge. That's just gonna read internally how much is in your tank, and it's gonna be nice for reference points, knowing whether you have enough pressure to take that next shot. If you look right above that, you're gonna notice a magnetic dust cap. This is something that Airguns of Arizona includes with each gun. It's just nice to have to prevent any kind of dust or particles from getting into your air reservoir system. Now, if we look inside the stock, you'll notice that the stock is cut as part of the trigger guard. It's encompassing the FX 2-stage match trigger. This is the most in-depth trigger that FX has. It can be adjusted for travel, it can be adjusted for weight, and then the trigger blade itself here can be canted to fit perfectly into the shooter's hand. So everything about this gun, the butt stock, the trigger, it's made to be adjusted to the shooter. The rifle is almost always gonna outshoot the shooter in terms of accuracy, so they just try and make everything as comfortable as possible to maximize the potential of the rifle. Each rifle has a mechanical safety that's right here below the side cocking mechanism, and it's as simple as safe and fire. What you will notice that is unique about it, on most systems you would put the lever in front of the S to put it on safe. On this one, it says S with an arrow. So basically it's saying for safe, go in the direction of that arrow. So it is kind of unique, but very simple once you figure it out. Fire, F points to the fire, safe mode, safe points that way. So it's very good. Always want a mechanical safety on a gun that's producing as much power as this gun. The rifle is also offered in a synthetic version. This synthetic version is right-handed only. So if you're left-handed, you have to go with the walnut. If you're a right-handed shooter, there is the synthetic option available. This synthetic stock is unique because it's kind of got a rubberized, almost like a Duracoat finish. It's very nice. I personally really like this. And if you're gonna be hunting, carrying it in the woods, something like this is gonna do a much better job of hiding wear, hiding scratches. This one's made to beat up. So this is a great stock. It's a great option for hunters or people who are in some thick wilderness. The FX BOSS, just like every other FX rifle, comes with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. We are the warranty center here in the United States, so if you ever had any problems, you'd just contact us and we'd get you taken care of. Now that we've highlighted some of the features this rifle has to offer, let's go ahead and put some air in it, take it down to the test range, and see how it performs. All right, so we're back here at the 20-yard test range. We're gonna go ahead, top the air off with rifle. Then we got the chronograph behind the scuba tank. We're gonna go ahead and shoot for chronograph numbers to calculate energy, and then we'll zero in the scope at 20 yards and see what kind of group we can get. So we'll go ahead. This rifle runs off of a 250 bar fill. The reason why this rifle has the ability to fill to such a high pressure is because of the internal regulator. The regulator does not allow the valve to lock up even under that high amount of pressure. It's going to keep everything consistent and good right off the get-go. So now that we got that air in it, set the tank down and we're ready to start shooting. Before we shoot the rifle, we're going to touch a little bit on how to load the 9-shot magazine. This magazine, it's not hard by any means, it's just kind of unique in the way that it works. So the first thing you're gonna do is get this transparent plate. You want that pointed at you, and then you also want where these two come to a point, you want them to be flush and pointing straight up in the air. And then the first step is you're gonna grab the clear part only and rotate it counterclockwise as far around as you can. As you do that, you notice that the internal drum where the pellets sit, it rotates with it. What we're doing here is we're creating the spring tension. Right now, I'm holding it here with my hand. So you have to hold it in place. And for the first pellet only, so we've created the spring tension. Now to hold the spring tension in there, what we do is we flip it over and you put the first pellet only in skirt first. So you go ahead and you just enter it skirt first, right there, and now we'll notice if I take my hand off, it stays there. And all it's doing is creating the spring tension. It's holding everything in place. As the bolt comes out, it'll fall to the next pellet, and so on and so on. So now that we got that one in place, you just bring the clear plastic part around and drop each pellet in nose first. And when it's flush, they'll fall right in. These are FX BOSS pellets, 46.3 grain, 30 caliber. When you reach the point that the points sit flush again, you'll notice that the pellets are all in. It's ready to go. They have to go a certain way now because the nose is pointing out that way, so it has to be loaded from right to left, but the magazine is ready to roll. So right now, all we have to do is open up the breech. It'll hold itself open once it's cocked. And if you look on the back here, you'll notice that there's a half moon cutout. If you go ahead and line that up with the brass port right here, there's only one way it can come in, and that is from the right side. Just lay it flush so where that half circle is sitting around the brass piece, and you just simply push it flush till you can't push it anymore. Now that we have the magazine loaded, we're gonna go ahead and put on the safety glasses, and we're gonna start pushing some lead over the chronograph here. We're gonna be calculating energy from velocity. We're gonna do a full shot string, so we'll see how many shots it gets, and then we'll calculate the standard deviation based on those numbers that we get on each shot. So we'll go ahead and start shooting. On this particular shot string, we're able to get 39 shots before it started to fall off the regulator. Out of those 39 shots, the average came to 883 feet per second. If you calculate the energy with that velocity and these 46.3 grain pellets, that'll give you 79.6 foot-pounds of energy. So even a slight bit higher than advertised, this gun is just a hammer. We got the scope zeroed, and we went ahead and added a camera mount to the back of our scope. So what we're gonna do now, the magazine is loaded and in the gun. We're gonna try and shoot a 5-shot group right in the middle of that bowl. So let's go ahead and start recording. All right, and then let's see what we can get going. All right, so there's 5 shots that basically punched out the center bowl of that target. Gives you an idea of what kind of accuracy you can expect out of the gun. This is 20 yards and it is 78 foot-pounds, but that gives you every indication that at 50 yards you're gonna be half inch, 100 yards, inch, maybe a little bit bigger, but the gun is shooting great. The camera mount actually worked pretty well, so hopefully you got a good view there, and that'll give you an idea of how accurate the gun is. So we had a lot of fun on the 20-yard range. The results speak for themselves. Now let's take it out to 50 and see what kind of groups we can get at those kind of distances. So we're out here at the 50-yard range. We have the FX BOSS. It's all filled up with air. I'm gonna be single loading the pellets for precision. And then the other thing to keep in mind is I have not touched the zero from 20 yards. I do that because I like to be able to have an aim point and an impact point that are different. At 50 yards, it's just a personal thing, but I'm usually capable of getting better groups if I have different aim point and different impact point. So you're not gonna see it punch out the center, but what you're looking for is the size of groups. I have a 4-bowl target downrange. What I'm gonna do is start in the top left quadrant. I'm gonna take a couple shots for my siders, just so I know where my pellets are hitting. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go first group down 1 into the quadrant in the lower left, third group we'll do in the top right, fourth group we'll do in the bottom right. So we're gonna shoot 5-shot group on all 3 bowls and see what kind of results we get. Ooh, I like that one. Whew. All right, let's get downrange. It's hard to tell out of the 18 power scope, but I'm excited. I'm gonna get down there and see how that one looks. Okay, so we're downrange here. This is our 50-yard target. We had 4 bowls set up. Kind of what we did is on the top left here, I took a couple siders to figure out where I was, where I needed to hold. And then on all of these, I was actually holding to the right a little bit because like I said, I like my point of impact to be different than where my aim point is. So the first 5-shot group was actually really good. I mean, that's about nickel-sized group. I think I let one of them stray here. It kind of came up. The second one would have been hands down one of the best groups I've ever shot, but that 4th shot got away from me right there. So it's kind of still could be covered up easily with a nickel, maybe even a dime. And then this last one, the stars kind of aligned. This was the one that I felt best about. You could cover that up with a dime easily. I mean, it's about the size of my fingernail there. So that shows the gun is definitely more accurate than I am. But if you hold it together, it does the majority of the work for you. The gun's very accurate. These are awesome results at 50 yards. I'm kind of pumped up just having done that. It was a lot of fun, and these guns are great. Today we took a look at the FX BOSS. We put it on paper, saw that over the chronograph it was shooting 46 grain pellets at just over 880 feet per second. That averages out to just over 79 foot-pounds, which is fantastic. This rifle is really driving pellets hard. We saw that because of the internal regulator, we were able to get just about 40 shots per fill at that power level, which is outstanding. Then we took it out to the range, saw that at both 20 and 50 yards, the gun was grouping great, outshooting me in most cases. So combine that with the high shot count and the amount of power you're getting, this rifle is unlike any other rifle on the market. It's giving you the best of all three worlds in one package here. Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as the Airguns of Arizona mailing list to stay up to date with promotions and sales. And we hope that you keep an eye out for our next video.